Okay. Hey guys, I hope everyone enjoyed our special visit tonight because it is first time in Kashmir that special sandwiches for the world famous pet people. Because I have started without Joan help. So thank you so much, Sean. Now, those of you who was at the meeting in January, what I said to you was, this is going to be a special year as City Club celebrate 100 years of service to our community. So the promise I think to you is that we're going to have a lot of fun, okay? And so, once again, hit parades can be made in tonight with another special event. So, but before we begin the meeting, I would like to have a raise of hand. How many guests we have here tonight is the first time here at City Club? Can you please raise up your hand? No, please come up. I also like to introduce you to a special friend of mine. Her name is Anita Diaviller. She's my special guest tonight because we've been friends for over 32 years. She's been to my wedding. She's been to all my parties, the birth of my son. And so she's here to support me tonight. So welcome, Anita. Oh, I'm going to do something more fun tonight. So last week, we sent an email out to our members and asking them for a survey. All right, so I need 2 volunteers because we gave them away a prize tonight. So I need a name to come up here, male members to come up here to do a drawing because we give them away a prize. Right? Thank you so much. Good. All right. So let me show you the prize because it's something special. All right. So this time when we ask a survey, I hope that there are more people doing it because we are giving away a real nice spots. This is a bracelet. It looks ordinary, right? But guess what? It comes with a special cloth. If you rub it enough, it will be transparent. So tonight, we're giving away one for the male members of the survey and one for the female. So, the new set, I would ask Rand to help us to make the drawing. And the winner of the survey is
Steve Domier.
with the cloth. So, okay. Make it a survey.
Steve, don't sit down. It's going to be short-lived.
Instrument selects the winner, the female member who did the survey. And the winner is? Let's go.
Shannon Ryan.
My hair raw again. All right, Jelly.
Okay, so Coco, so we did a survey that we in what the question was. The first question we asked is, what are two of your favorite speakers for the last show science seats? And the number one guest speaker was Heaven Pigs of Landscape. And number two, Maud Laniel from the historian of the world famous Sanders. So those were their two fake scares. The second question that we also asked you was, what kind of spirits do like you more of? And basically everybody says we want varieties. We want, something unusual. We want some local politicians. We want, the artists, which slowly getting to that. The last question was, we asked, what can we do to improve EV? And many of you says, we don't really need to introduce, individually of all the special guests. So instead, what we can view is that instead calling you no name specifically, we just get an expert what the group. An example, after the S, everybody that works from the city of San Marino, will you please stand up so we can give you a hit? But everybody who works for the school districts or the foundations, please stand up. Will the past presidents of San Marino City Club please stand up? Great, they won't go party. So by doing that, we will cut the control and skip all our guest visit.
All those that are halfway married.
See, you see tonight. Take this so. Can I ask President Wong to come up to give us a 10-minute explanation of the history of some new skillets? Wally? Ollie, can we turn down the light so that you can see the flash show? Is that okay?
We will on here in suppose slid big get very keep us here are your skin over there at it swim yes how we get through this spit die. This particular presentation of our historical symbols is going to be an eclectic one covering activities, events, contributions over the years. Slide number one. Now move. As I had noted in previous snippets, our club has always been very social, with entertainment at these meetings up to the 1980s and annual dances. Here is the flyer for one of the last dances in 1984 with its Cinco de Mayo theme. This may be the inspiration for the annual fiesta at the old mill, which then came about in about the same time. Here's among the flyers for that 1999 fiesta. Note the cost was only $27.50 per person. See if we can match it this year. Oh, it's fun. No. Fiesta continues to be one of our most enjoyable social events. And here are a few photos from flying dance Conzonire, the first slide there.
And the Weisses would be
Ninso Candace. Yana Sweet and Gang, the theme of the Mexican fiesta. The President's Party was an annual event for a long time, being held at the Antonin San Gabriel Country Club and the Valley Hut Club over the years. A lot of slides from the President's Balls. Here's a few from some about.
Got it.
Okay. We always took a picture of the presidents who were there. Andy. No, wait, this is going so fast. And those are that's all. Oops. Yet, treat some of the subsequent presidents got together, asked residents with the people work to plan for the next year, but also engage in golf, tennis, a lot of these. On Friday nights, we go to a Mexican restaurant a lot of times. Here are some pictures from one of those events. I think it was 2014. The bikes, Bio Sierra, Janison, that's one. Eganels, Leclercs who were here. He required it, drew picture. Haynes and Word. Here's my after in the golf county with Vulcan Allen and I think Albo. The annual barbecue at the Southwestern Academy was a time when we have a sports figure as our speaker. We'd have the Santa Maria's high school football coach, football team would come, and some of our speakers in the time, like Pat Hayden, various coaches of the teams in the area. Golf tournament was a beat of that. Fortunately, that's something we don't do anymore. But someone up there has the coveted brown jacket, which supported to the winners. One time, you could have a BMW up if you made a hole in one, but somebody guy. I think it was the use of it for a year.
Ruined the bark.
That's Jack Brown and Tom Salem. Jack Brown was the driver behind all of the golf events, all kind of attended. A lot of people were just spent men and women. After that shit. Sally and the Alcian. Yeah. Stanley and Lisa Lefley. Orpheus. I think we have some technical problems, but some of the other things that I wanted to mention about the club is involved in is our contributions over the years to various events and contributions to Little League, to grad night, to scouts. Our club is involved in a lot of contributions of our time and effort of money over the years. Are we working now? And that work good here, good. Just keep going, keep going. Right there. There's brown jackets. Right for your outduster. The brown jackets were also in honor of Jack Brown, who was a sheriff.
I had the men's jacket in my club.
You have to be very, you have to be. We had a Sikh stay at the races, where his mother Rebecca the cup was involved with. On the next tennis tournament, we had tennis tournament each year. Some of these events we don't no longer have, and it is something that these people should be thinking about trying to reinstitute some of them. B. Wettler, the Hannah Staple, under slide. That's Bill Kane, and I think it might be Hen Riley on the right. We also give the MVP awards, and then have for years for the Society of Claire. All of the school team is both men's and women's. And something that if you're a member and want to get involved in something, it's a great thing to do. Last year, I was honored to do the girls' flag football team in their initial year, and it was really fun to see how enthusiastic those girls were. We did the Hoders Sport every year for both the city council and the school board. And then this is a list of some of the things we've done, the contributions. So we got a lot of good activities, contributions, and next month, hopefully we'll be in control of this clicker. We'll have some going back to the Father's Night shows and who are speakers for it. So thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you've been waiting for. We are really honored to have our next speaker here. But let me give an update now to Bill. Billy May, for the first, I want to let me know you are very special. Because for the first time in the San Mario 100 years history, you are the first international artist that is our speaker. Willie is helpful, but I'm going to share with you something about Willie that you all need to know. Willie's artwork is in many museums internationally, including the Museum of Modern Art in New York, as well as the British Museum in London. Now, on top of that, recently, he also had a collaboration with the famous designer from Milan. It's called Tots, TOTS. And I bought some of the ladies on here were officially that design. Now, on top of being an amazing artist, Willie is also a fabulous speaker. He has spoken in many universities as well as colleges throughout the U.S., including our neighbor, the Acevedo College. Now, we are really lucky tonight because Willie's work, his artwork, is a collector's dream, including the billionaire Peter Norton, the founder of the Norton Software and I'm sure all of us have used that tool years. Now, but so tomorrow night, this could be a private party for Pierre and his billionaire friends. But tonight, we got Billy here to be with us first. But you. Okay? So, Billy and I got to know Billy about 8 years ago. And so when I mentioned that I would like him to come as our guest speaker, he was so kind and generous, and he waived his normal appearance fee for us. Without further ado, let's give Willie Cole a warm San Marino sit up welcome. Can you guys see in the back, or should we turn up more lights? Okay?
Icky. Shoot.
So, dash. Okay. Wow, we got 2 lights. That means I can't go around and hold up.
But I'm glad to be here. You know what? I'll call you a lot. And family here. Everything is so real.
Huh? I trying to get too much. That's great.
I would be here. And, I do a lot of other blocks. And I can only have 30 minutes. I'm going to technical faster than I miss some that. So, first, before I show you the image,
So these are just background stuff. I talk to you as a man, Shiro. So, yes, I'm an artist, but I can for his own perceptual engineer. I got that shown from the advertising world,
and I use it because I'm creating new ways for you to see. I integrate conversation.
I like to relate that to what's known as the high factors of unit times, exception, reason, demand, need, memory, and will. So I try to tap into those in my work so that when you see, it'll be like the arrows and swallows. You won't be following your thoughts or your view. You'll see something you've never seen before. But my career, it started with scorching wooden hands. So you saw the video there. Well, what? This was actually my first show at Beijing Gallery here. It was all about scorchies. Purpose. So I stand like this. I can solve it out of my tea. But the clicker's not working. Oh, so you can see that scorching wood. I use a hot knife, I take it apart, I use a saw blade.
and I get the impressions on board the carriers or many things. I've been there for about 10 years. And it was based on what I was able to discern from the steamer. His chart, I hope it's a false step you see. It shows how the steam iron was broken down in my mind. 3 things for you to see. So the nose is steam iron. On the left column there, you'll see Hattie Daniels of the TV show, but he was considering it a Manny. And on the right side is here, housekeeping. They go through the iron where they had different origin points. So the housekeeper below her is a house and money. That's their origin point. But the Manny comes from the Sweden, and they come to Africa. The top ones, you see the second left from the top shows all the things that make steamer. So you got water on one side, you got the periodic table symbol for iron in the middle, and you have fire on the left. The top row or the what's happening guys that connected to the various colors, one for water, one for iron, and one to fire. So all those things they gave topics to be useless deep. And I'm not showing a lot of report, I want to show you way of saying. So I started at the figure of sea lives first, just human figures. I saw it as, at that time I thought it was lights up primitive art. So I was taking primitive aesthetics with contemporary arts. And that came because of the word African American. I would ask her, so what can I make this African American? It became taking American objects and turning them into things that look like tribal art. So I did that for about 10 years. And this is probably the last thing I did with the iron here. But here I tried to find images on the steam mine exploded view that look like African art graphics. So I don't know how you see it from there, because from here, can be our focus. I don't know how I wish that you guys did. But this side of all this steam mining actually come the direction came the sea mines. These are all African art objects that are similar that suggest the same thing. And this chart on the left tells you where you see the African pieces come from, or country it represents. Skip all here. So, this section you can near it means I'm looking for something that looks like something else. So push that suggestion forward. So they're at the version of Guadalupe. And as extra identified, all of the marks around here are very similar to this crocodile speak. So I did a series of prints that show that, and comes in like 7 different colors. These are the Marriott Hotel at Kansas in the Wisconsin. And in University of Buckburn and Chalmers, they both have to stay in the lines. That same concept, that this piece here, you see this is the very famous graphic of the porcelain, but conceptually engineered is an iron ore. Very simple. So I decided to use each of ours as I saw the brains, the Black Deckers, the Sonex, the Sunbeams. I saw, okay, so this is a different tribes. I called the Cult of the Lesky, and the iron bread became the tribal myth. So this shows that there is people who might be on that shit if it wasn't an airport. That's what Black bread. This, well. I went from that to making art out of pipe suits. It came about because I had a turn to do a show. I wanted to do something with sneakers, but I only had 2. So I went to the first story, but I knew she was so beautiful and called my eye. These are more colors, different colors than the yield signs. So I went from being Iron Willie to Burishima. I also did them in bars because the shoes are lazy and oversized your feet are. But I want to make larger sculpts, so I would cast them in wax. So the casting in styrofoam. additional scan and bar the styrofoam pick. So the big hats and need rocks. So these are 7 feet tall there. That's 6 feet tall there. So it's 3 feet tall, but they're still all shoes. Now this was at San Antonio Museum. It's also downtown Atlanta, Georgia, if you get down that way. And it's the Newark Cuisine. So we could do. Yeah, this is a newer piece here. I call this a twist there. And this one I call it Tiger Lily. So my studio for big years was a helicopter hammock. And a little spall of this. And I had rows and rows of tables of shoes. And I would define it by heel design or by colors and textures. So I got tables of animal carnage, tables of two tones, tables of pups, tables of the moon, tables of mules. Yeah, and it all there. Because I do not draw these things out. I just play with it. It's like having a jigsaw puzzle be Christmas. You got puzzle Christmas. When's the brown in the bear? You don't know what it looks like. You're gonna get on the parks. So you play with two against something. And that's pretty much how that dance here. This is a matter of guitars. I had one year where Yamaha gave me 75 guitars. And I cut them into shapes and reassemble them to make different things. Another concept I work with often is what I call being conceptual architecture. That means that the object has to relate to the object I make. The object is the material as a connection to the object I make somehow. So that's why I need the guitar players, because they're made out of guitars. I don't always follow that rule, but I would love to start as possible. I mean, all these humans, I figured it as females. This is called Fuck Man. And I know I'm in California, but I don't know if you guys know this, but fronts are cheek. You see school with their gold teeth and all that, those are called futs. Cool. Okay, so this is has sound.
Bess, I have something to share with you. You are going to be one of the first people to see this. Do not spoil. You guys are going to get a sneak peek at one of the art installations that's going into the Kansas City Airport. The artist Willie Cole came up with this amazing idea to make bird sculptures out of alto saxophones. And together with my good friend, our Dr. Forrigan, who is the owner of BSC Music, they made this idea come to life.
I never shared a whole video which we fired on YouTube. Sure. I just did be here. I don't introduce it. I will show you. So we're so see, this is made out of toy saxophones. So that's where I use it. Public art for public places was always countless issues. So there was an international competition for at Kansas City Airport. They chose 20 artists, and I was one of them. But for me, as a fan of jazz, but I didn't get to sit, I think of Charlie. So because his name is Charlie Yardbird Parker, I said, I got him at Birds Air Saxophones. It was a simple equation. It's like a piano teacher under the method. So I got these 30 horns on. That was and this was my first photos. I mean, I want the music player too, sir. But I mean, animation of it, of the piece, and this is a true piece. I think you got that. So, and that's got me the video. So in Kansas City, I had 2 studios. This is my first studio, Ruthel's Beauty Shop, closed in the 60s. So I made that animation piece that you saw. I made that as the bird in Ruthel's. But Ruthel's is small. It's got the whole spot, you know. So then they switched me. I should tell you, the city was so excited they did a free studio in Kansas City. So I went from Ruthel's to the Boone Theater. This is the famous theater, the Jazz Theater of Kansas City. All the ways he played the. And it was my studio for 2 years. Oops. On direction, sorry. And when I come to that studio, I had a different prototype, which only 15 horns. But see what? I nearly ordered 300 horns. I was making 10 birds, so each bird was 30 horns. I did 300. This is making 10 birds. I have a 30 horns each. This is the interior of the studio. See how big it is? This guy standing there is 6'10". So the huge studio. The next slide will show us in there. So work on a car to me, you know, was in a sculptor. We worked on some continue, all the keys underneath and they're very all up there. So this usually working on like birds daily. Uses the make sure that see the video of the studio. See they have scandal, they have each bird is hanging from scarfneck because in the airport they hang. When the seal pretty figure. I had 2 assistants in both positions. That's Cameron is a 6'10" guy. This little guy here is the horn dopper. He's called the horn dop because during retreat he went to New Orleans with a ambulance trying to get to a musical repair shop, a repair orange on the street for people. So he got the name horn dopper for real. Go too fast here. So this is how we install. There's one that you sees this, when the whole comes before. Oh, you stick it. 5 hours. Start going down this. Hey, let me do. Yeah. Oh, okay. Ooh, last bit. That's it. Wait, I can you or you. Pay for that. So this is installed there at airport. If you ever use it, so I can hang it up myself. This put the day in the pod. Big Sember big to work. But then his wife's scam website, Perch. It seemed not just so much that they commissioned me to make spoilers, it's also for the use of it for. And those are available on the website. Good, yes? Again, this is how the bus now. So we see it's still big B40. Here's the Kansas City. Next. Oh, Pepe. So, again, free corn and a lot of leftovers. So I need some standing berries. So this one that's Standing Kirkshire. Next. And you support by it and this opportunity because it things I do report about this and because I robotic centers of robotic they pre-patrol big jobs. So this is in the studio, up the warlocks. And the slab runs the wire, people stay to 6 over here. Our core of the wire. Let's. These are some of the moves I make. This one is real corporate lobby in New Jersey. This was on Park Ave in New York, a couple of summit. There's a kitchen session WH ball. So I call it WH Lantern. the Buddha chandelier, the picture of Buddha in the ball on that one.
And they are 6 to 8 feet wide usually. In this case, 7 feet long. Oops.
And the cars of the water bubble do that is exactly why I'm in this garage. That's so close. Go back, please. So, right there. This car was fully improvised. And it was commissioned by the city of Summit, New Jersey. They were so excited about the work. But after they wanted to shoot for 2 weeks, they asked me to move. Because some people saw this garbage on the street. Even though I don't like cop. Next. This one was based on the schematic of a 1955 Cadillac. So, about this 8 inches long, kind of like split 2 keyboard. So I could buy 2x8. And no big bottles like bars all line. I lay all these lines side by side, and I weave it together, cross, and I big sheet of balls. And I just shake that to where I like. In this case, I made all the shapes, basic boxes, but then it's like a pillowcase. So now I fill that with loose balls to give us some heft. Miss, that's how that's big. Then squeeze. This car was made for Earth Day in New York. I forget what location this is. X. But we probably feel that in the air a bit.
Fuel salt.
Oops. It's a brother to our prior vessel. And next. So this is a car. It's not most recent, but it's in the studio. We're working on it. You make it, I mean, to see it from where you are because of the fuzzy. Let's divide the 3 sections. So from the windshield to the front upwards bus section, then the seat here is the second section, then the rear trunk the third section. Thanks. And see that here. So we give a lot of detail to the interior because that's where the work is. Most of it is just the box, the details on the head. But the interior would have been the life of me. And that's so here's a element on the street. And the next one's a mask of it is a video. Okay, when you for it, but the next this is the so the average width is 58 feet. Headed to its sports cars. And in terms of the contextual thing, bottles are made out of plastic. Bottles are made of plastic. Plastic is a byproduct of oil-based gas. So through that line is a car somewhere in that sense. That's how it came out. So, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I really do wish this out.
Sir. So thank you for coming out here. How we discover your passion of Greece mega project because we are kind of over the overscaled large items. How did you come to point of focusing on this type of work?
Well, I had to make an art since I was 3 years old. So I didn't have any question about what I want big of my life at the dolls. And I started out in college. I made a big graphic design and illustration because my parents said if I get a job as an artist, so I get graphic design so I get a job. Second year job. And it was the 70s. I don't know if you all know this, but 70s and the 60s were just as racist as the 50s and the 40s. So because I had great art, I'm going door to door, or flopping on doors. I only got hired to Black History. General Motors hired me to do illustrations of heroes like Frederick Douglass. So I switched back to fine arts. It's the same hustle, but I'm not making enough work as graphic designer or illustrator. So do something else. In that currently, designer, I should say, it's been living as an artist. I recognize that there are three ways that I can make an income. What was public art? One was gallery design sales, and what was talks like this about my work. So that's how I make shit.
Not finally, I have a question. At what point in your life do you realize this is when you actually were successful? People powerful.
So, I mean, he asked my upstairs on the she said I had to realize it, yeah. Because I don't have a big ego. I baby in this work because I have to do it. I can't. I mean, it's just like breathing. Well, when people see it, I need the more so when people buy it. Just, I don't know, it's like, I remember somebody telling me it's easy to do it once, but if you do it twice, you're going to do it. Sorry. It's easy to sell one work of art, but if you sell second piece by the same person, get your money got something done. I used to have a loft in Newark that 12 pictures, there's 3,000 square feet. And I couldn't sell anything for more than $500 because I was an engineer. Nobody there could afford what I'm not from work art. But once I got a dealer in New York, she had her own on these. They were all wealthy on covers. So that was a big life-changing moment for me. But it was not a moment. It's not like I got hired by, some corporation. There's still no guarantees from day to day. I live 100% on faith. Yeah. I think that's what moves the wall is when you believe about yourself.
It's hashtag box, yay, birds, buddies.
Sets of those had lots of little things all over it. Really, can you repeat the question? I like this. How do I connect the sets of those? So brass, the soft metal, saxophone keys didn't. So you mean hooks just all together. Just gotta use a torch to heat up. So if I see what I'll let it become. So yeah, I did.
Walls.
The bottles are like big in a necklace. Instead of using string, I use a 14-foot long piece of 12-gauge galvanized steel wire. And I burn holes in the bottles. The bottles made to collapse to take up less space in the landfill. So you can't just pull a hole in it, crush. Unless you put something inside of it. But I be sure with solder it there. Just burn the hole there. That's how that works. Can I do watch? Yeah. Yes.
But the bottle. I put it with shoes it. What did you say you do at Bayagi? Gappy? Stony.
Right. Well, in 2005, I was a fellow at University of Georgia, and they gave me $100,000 material budget. So I was at a local thrift store, and I told them I'd buy every high heel shoe they had, and I offered 50 cents a pound. That was in September. In January, they gave me beans of shoes, and you was big for it. Some fellowship was 1 year. I came back to New Jersey, and next year I did the same thing at the Salvaged thrift store in Jersey. So I quickly acquired maybe even a million shoes. I said the studio was this close to this size, tables all come with shoes. But nowadays, if I'm making something in a sense that I'd be a different heel shape or different color, I go to the local food store. Because I've discovered that women don't wear shoes that but men do. Now that shoe just for the wedding or just church. So I get shoes that are pretty much you. It's just about. God was 2.5. Tell the saxophones that purchased saxophones, that be the Palaba. I did plan to go around Kansas City for the boy shows, but I wouldn't got them young boys down right. So through my connection, the oil doctor, whose company makes brass instruments, they have purchasing chimes. I mean, they can fit for a good price and chime. Saxophones and saxophone. Water ball is shoes. The shoes are put together by. It always gives me a chance to put one of my heroes' Lapidex. The shoes are held together by 80s necessary. My hope is to not let that connection be visible. Everybody gets it. I think of making this work. There's that some mythology. I think it was Apollo had the fear of playing. They were young adults outside on the ground, and Athena picked up some of the earth that they like a human fauna out there, and they got a kick out of that. And Apollo said to Athena, "Let's breathe life into it." So I feel that my art, I take it to that point where all of these is with somebody can I rewrite and I thought that's what I know is finished. That's the thing I cannot do is take a real life.
How many bottles does it take for a prop?
Oh, let's see. 55. And that's a card is not stuff. If I stumble in those styles to make it hard, it's a lot more.
So it's was about that. Yeah.
Yes. I tried that. I have a event in New York Thursday where I summoned a chandelier near the border balls. And I'm checking the name of it. My partner's Rothy shoe store. They make shoes out of plastic, recycled plastic. And I worked with other products. We had a product in California, but we're still building the store, so I'll be back for that. The vision they had was to have the pedestrians drinking water as they walk down the street, give us their bottle. And I've been on for just hanging on the ground for they can help me do it, blah, blah, blah. But then I sure they'll get 1,000 bottles of the time to get a beat. So I've actually delivered today with 2 days ago my arbiter, which is a bunch of rins, and 4 polyethylene bead bags filled with bottles. Each bag will fit 50 bottles. So if they don't get a pedestrian, give them all. Just to finish the project.
2 questions. One, earlier, some of your earlier words, obviously lost street printing, little rarities, a little like street printing, yeah. And you use some wooden words anyways. Are you abandoned that approach altogether?
No, I don't just try to say Picasso had really different periods. But as he got older, he did them all at the same time. So that's kind of where I'm at, but the idea has to jump on me first, and then I just follow through. It's like what I show you now, which is a small part of what I do. You'll also do paintings and drawings.
Arcular Lashes, what's your website?
My website is my day, williecole.com. This there.
So you just said that the concept, is not a concept. How much time do you spend developing a concept before it comes into an art piece? And I'm thinking more particularly about the water bottle sculptures of the humanoids or humans that you rig. I remember you talking about what that means conceptually. Is that always your process? And if so, all of that case?
Well, with all of my work, the concept develops through a reduction process. Like all I know is today I'm using my black shoes and my red shoes only. That's my concept. Then I just play the rest of the day, see what happens. But with the water ball stuff, it's more mathematically because if I'm making something that's in proportion to that body, I just said about the 8 is long, I measure the body for it. But sometimes I assign a bottle to a part of the body. Like they say, this finger is 1 ball. And from that, figure out pressure. And those concepts don't take a lot of time because they were choices. They were choices. I mean, I got 3 different Chandler designs so far. And most of my Chandler are commission work. So it's just like, I need to have 3 assistants I could train, and then I make those poly. I have one guy that he can't quite do it yet. It's just, and it's the crowd that are biggest.
You share your talents at the university or art schools throughout the country. Sick. You teach?
No, I don't teach. Except another. No, I told myself I did not go to art school to be an art teacher. So I just follow with the journey. I mean, I taught by doing it. And I'm still teaching myself about it every day. But I don't do classroom. I've done visiting artist gigs at museums and universities, and I've done a fellowship at Stanford, the University of Georgia, the University of Delaware. But the associate just required me to be present. What in Stanford, 1 day a week, I met with students and we talk about movies. Well, we just came to San Francisco with galleries and museums and stuff. Yeah. So that's my teaching. Because I feel like teaching my life, I have a career. Oh, I just said, yes.
Would you say that you, like, whether it's steam irons or shoes or bottles, do you start by being inspired by the material first, and then kind of what comes from that is part of that creative process, or you start with a theme of what you want to say first?
It's an example. So I was a painter during the period when graffiti was real by, but I wasn't a graffiti artist. So I couldn't get me traction in New York because I wasn't doing what the style was. So I switched to sculpture. I switched to sculpture because I saw an iron on the street in a runaway by a car, and nobody had to get bass. So I made that shirt, the first edition, and I just let any concepts to be linked conceptually, contextually to the mind. With the water bottles, I had a dream. I had an offer to show a place old grounds of sculpture in Hampton, New Jersey, and they did not have a budget. And when they took it, I would treat it water. And I realized the bottle had all these lines in it, so would give a lot of space in the landfill. So in the meeting, I turned that bottle into a fish. That night, I dreamed about a chandelier with a Buddha and every bottle. So I can big fish it. So the artists more than this concept. So.
Does you have an optic or meal that thinking about future?
I know, kid, because I don't choose these things, they choose me. So not be feeling about what I had doing is being open. And I don't exhibit all because of it, I'm doing drawing effect. And word balls are ongoing as I get live commissions. But in my other studios, also, you I pay for that. I don't know what makes such will be. Season.
That beat that it took Obaka on your end to finally break it. See what for before you get the moment where you got in the set day or you had the residency at studio at the auto studio or easier and you got on track to have more support. What would you wish had been done to help take your boat for their while before you cracked out?
What? My wish would have been.
Well, wait, people who are outside of the art world who don't understand that it's not can't always just go support artists by buying a gal. What support do you wish you had to help with your art soul?
Well, I give me what is electrical support, but I had a lot of support. My allies supported me a lot, even though they would always ask them I found a job that. But they still, as a little kid, my art was just a prize in the house. As an adult, they didn't quite get it right away, but they still admired the work. And that kept me going. I had, believe it or not, I had people who would give me money weekly because they believed in it. A couple of ideas. And the support that I like, I say intellectual support, because one of my contemporaries, whose name was Jeff Koons. This brother is a college graduate. My mom is not a college grad. She lived up in about the opera at that time. Now she believes he read a repo. But Jeff's mother was reading New York Times, and she saw the Salvador Dali, the world famous surreal estate. It was going to be in New York at Tiba Hotel. So she called the hotel. They said, my son's an artist, and I'd love to meet you. And Dali said, okay, I got 10 minutes. He comes at the center of the time. So that means that, like, I was clumped up with a mom who didn't know art, but he had a mom who knew art. So he was like a hot apple leaf who was still bumped out, you know. He had no doubt. He knew his direction, sure. And that concept, and then I don't know the profession, all that you guys here, if you meet somebody in your profession who's doing well, it inspires you. I could have used some of that. But fortunately, I was able to about the. There was one artist in the neighborhood as a little kid, though. I never would have saw him paint. He had storefront as a studio, and he would sit outside the storefront drunk every day. But inside, he got lots of paintings. So I don't know what he did. Then he did them at night. I feel so good about it. Jindy House. Cousin.
That's my friend. His work for us. You know what I mean? Because I remember seeing him when he was 15, 16. He going hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, you bow. You making it, you know, people knowing it. It's so young. He didn't do it.
Yeah, yes, a detour inspired by a relationship. And I got a job as a rep designer for City of New York. I did that for about a year. Before that, I freelanced. So I said to my boss, who was because he's probably simply the councilman of Queens, New York, that I could do this work better at home because I got a better studio just sitting here at a desk. So it became always a freelance job, you know. When I left that job, I ended up doing computer graphics for a year. And that was, as my daughter just got her first real job. And she said, now she can be an adult. So when I got a big rep job, I felt like a real adult. This was when the industry was brand new. I worked in a gen graphic system. Our workstation was as long as one of these tables, but our screen was about the size of that projector. And our CPU was the size of the refrigerator in a room all by itself. Called it a standard job. So I did that job for 2 years, and I got fired from that job, which the lot of more political story I had to get to. Well, I got fired from that job. They told me they were putting me on call because other companies had equipment now, but they didn't have artists trained to use it. But that was not what happened. I waited. I never got called. So I called the state department unemployment and took my employer to court. It had been unemployment. But I saw the employment has a scholarship. I said, I got government scholarship for 1 year. Oh, I'm going to make art every day until my life changes. And that's what I do. Just at the pains it every day. And about a year later, I had my first deal in New York. The sculpture came with her. Paintings and smell stuff.
Yep. We can start 60 years old. Oh, they see you as a.
Any other questions?
Willie, what would you consider your breakout moment as an artist? Personally or professionally? And personally, and we both. They're probably two different clients.
Personally, I did a project in New York once called 10,000 Mandelas. This when Nelson Mandela was in prison. And I used my studio as the headquarters for the artist project board in Jersey. And I was able to gather with people to do this project. Basically, it was carnival cut-ups of the human body this way. It's the dope cheap position. And then this position. And Mandela stays so in each piece cardboard, so they all look like Mandela to all numbers. And you put them all over the artism in the earth. Oh, but the TV at night. And the TV over it. It looked amazing. But because it's New York, by sunrise, we watched sanitation workers having that. So they kept all there. But I got on videos. That's often artists interview with this amputation, of course.
Any other questions?
But before I ask you a question, I just want to share another little secret with you guys. Billy, you are truly inspiration to me because I'm about to guess a little secret. You know, we look at Billy today and said, wow, it must be really exciting to be an artist. But, none of us know the difficulty of being an artist. I'm sure that there were times in the life that, you almost give up because, money doesn't come easy. So here's my little secret to you all. I'm in finance today, but my secret passion has always been in art. I always want to be an artist, but I didn't have the guts to be an artist because I have one problem. I like to eat. And you know that many artists, they don't become famous until they die. And many of them, many of them really have to go through, lots of difficulties in their life. So really, I have a question for you. What was the most difficult time in your life in which you always will get a want? Because I'm sure that has come across your mind many times. Because I'm sure that there were times that nobody's buying your art and, so I would like to share that with you. Yeah.
Well, I think what you mean is giving up the art business, because I can make art without selling it. So I never probably give them art. I don't think I'm gonna give the art business either because everything is art. Everything in this sport that you see is not a somebody's imagination. And then somebody had to draw. So I was able to see other applications for my so-called child. So I never reached a point of thinking.
And calculation.
Advice, you are not here. On behalf of Santa Mina City Club, we would like to present to you a little war. We want to thank you so much for being here with us today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. Okay. Now this is still coming as a surprise. But Gerald, will you please come up? Gerald? Will you come up, Gerald?
Yes. Well, yep.
Joe, I need to come up. Now, those of you who knows Joe, we know that he's a humble man. And I hope I can embarrass you, Joe, but we really, really, truly appreciate, the generosity for allowing us to have the meeting here. We truly appreciate you and Janice for such a giving person. At the City Club, we truly, truly appreciate you. So we just have a little momentum for you. So
Thank you. Bye.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. A lot of deserves the best. So how to that? Huh? Oh, and as Joe said, please help yourself with the